live, and you're live.
We are?
Yep.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
I don't believe you, sir.
That's fine. Says we're live.
Okay. Until I see it here, I don't believe it.
Well, this thing ain't never gonna be.
Is the volume down?
Yeah, this is on mute.
All right.
Good evening.
You didn't think to flip that
morning.
thing so we could make sure the camera's still working? Amateur hour.
I can see it right there. That it's
I don't
working.
trust that.
That's what that is.
I don't trust that, sir.
That's fine. Good morning, guys.
Ah!
Dreadlock. We're late. We late. Yeah, we are late.
Is he saying he's late or we're late?
I mean, either way, we're both late.
I mean, he might have good reason to be late.
We got good reason to be late.
Nah, not really.
We had work to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't like the work that we had to do.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about on this press play?
So we're going to talk about whether or not Marvel Cinematic Universe is cinema or trash.
Maybe it's a bit of both.
No.
It can only be one or the other?
I think there are reasons why I understand why they said what they said.
Uh-huh.
But that's on the business side of it. I disagree with the content of their message.
Uh-huh.
Now, the next topic we will get to is...
Game delays.
Woo! Ain't even mad.
You are very excited for whatever reason.
Game delays? I'm not mad that game delays happen. I would rather more game delays happen versus you put things out that aren't finished, a.k.a. Anthem. I would rather stop putting out things that are broken. Want to say what's up to Dreadlock, Brandon Gonzalez, Marats23, IMAX, Ray Sean K, Breck Warren. What's up, guys? What's up, people? And if we get to it, we want to talk just a little bit about Star Wars. But one of the other topics that are kind of meshed together, Michael says we're not going to be able to do it, but I disagree with him because he is dumb. We're going to talk about... Didn't see that coming, did you?
You're like the brother I never wanted.
We're going to talk about a little bit about whether or not Marvel is cinema or trash, but also there's another topic we want to discuss about whether or not we're living in the golden age of comic adaptations and book adaptations. Mm-hmm. This week we saw the release of The Watchmen. You know who you are. We're going to get Dark Material soon. We just had Game of Thrones wrap up. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, we just saw the trailer for Bloodshot. We don't know if Bloodshot will be good or Watchmen will be good going down. But a lot of things are being put on major screens. Mm-hmm. So is out of the MCU chat, I think it's a good topic to bring up because some of these stories you would never see. Mm-hmm. Some people don't read.
Thank you, Clay Portis. I appreciate it. Anyway.
Clay Portis, you could change your opinion when you hear some of the stuff Mike about to say.
That's loaded. But all right, let's get started. Everybody ready to talk? We actually got this topic from who?
You tell me.
I think it was Ray Sean.
Was it? I don't know. You told me it was either Ray Sean or Miles. I couldn't remember which one.
Yeah, a viewer.
Lord.
Come on, AG, talk to us. We're live. This is real. What's going on?
This is about the actual newscast.
We don't care about that. Well, I don't. He does.
Alicia said they're on the last witness and then they're going to vote, but if it goes till 10 o'clock...
I've already texted her what to do.
Okay.
Just do a vote, VO.
Vote side.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, I don't even know if she has her materials to be able to send back stuff like that. I don't know.
She ain't got a stop beforehand?
She's cutting the video for this. She's out there.
I know, but I'm saying she didn't get a soundbite beforehand before she... Oh, yeah. Come on,
we'll see a both side or VO or something.
All right, yep, Breck Warren, we're going to talk a little bit about the Watchmen premiere. Johnny Horn, appreciate you. He's saying that Scorsese's just mad because Marvel made all that money. Let's get into it. Where did this topic come from? Because
you got the paper.
October
3rd, 2019.
No, I'm saying who broached this? Because I wanted to bring up, guys, we want to talk about some of the same things you want to talk about. So on our community page, there's a little section where you can put comments. You can pose whatever question you want. We'll try to get it on here. We'll talk about it together because we want to hear what you got to say. But so let's get into it.
You got the paper?
You got the paper too.
This is just a different stuff.
Oh, I thought you had the same paper.
No.
I thought
we're
you
not
bring it-
professionals, and you love us for that. No, these are different stories.
Oh, okay.
This is game stuff.
I thought this was the same thing. Okay,
Nope.
let's start. All right. 10/3/19. October the 3rd, 2019. Martin Scorsese, Part 1. Not a fan. It all began when Scorsese told Empire magazine that he doesn't believe Marvel movies are cinema. I don't see them. I tried, but that's not cinema. Scorsese told Empire magazine. According to comicbook.com, honestly, the closest I can think of them, as well made as they are, with actors doing the best they can under the circumstances, is theme parks. It isn't the cinema of human beings trying to convey emotional, psychological experiences to another human being. That's where it started.
And all this was compiled on IGN.
Yeah.
We didn't do the work. IGN did all the work for us that we're now taking. But they kind of did a timeline of what everybody said, starting with Scorsese up to like Kevin Smith and Samuel Jackson and all the other people from Marvel.
Yeah, but this is a combination of the back and forth. I want to get to the negative comments. So the negative started with Scorsese, backed up by another major director, one of the best, some would argue.
Yeah, but that happened later. Like that wasn't directly.
No. But so Francis Ford Coppola on the 20th this week chimed in and backed up Scorsese, but then went a step further.
This is too much. What you got going on?
Nothing. I wanted to get to where. So Scorsese kicked it off.
Right.
And then in the middle, Jennifer Aniston jumped in and said she's tired of the Marvel movies and it's limiting roles for actors. And then Coppola came through, Francis Ford Coppola, not a fan. Just when the fire was dying out, Coppola shows up with a jug of fuel. Coppola spoke to journalists in France after accepting an award and said that Scorsese wasn't hard enough on Marvel. He said Marvel makes despicable movies. When Scorsese says that the Marvel pictures are not cinema, he's right. Because we expect to learn something from cinema. We expect to gain something, some enlightenment, some knowledge, some inspiration, Coppola said. I don't know that anyone gets anything out of seeing the same movie over and over again. Martin was kind when he said it's not cinema. He didn't say it's despicable, which I just say it is.
Okay.
So that's where we are. That's where we're starting.
Okay. Go ahead. Start.
I did.
You said it. So what's your thoughts?
Now I want to hear what you got to say.
I don't know where you're going because this isn't the order I was going in.
Oh, let's go in the order you were going in.
I was going in the order of how they were
Oh,
done.
you wanted to read all of these? We ain't got that kind of time, man. We got other things to do.
So go ahead, tell me where you at.
Well, the reason why I said let's just pick out the negative because we know the people who work on the movies how they feel. They disagree. I understand if Scorsese had said the business model of what Marvel is doing is squeezing out independent filmmakers and I'm not able to get original IP made. If he had said that, I don't have a problem with it. If Coppola had came through and said the way Marvel has bum rushed the studio industry and has bullied the Academy and has...
But not only, like if we want to talk big picture, it's not just Marvel, it's Disney.
I understand, but they're attacking Marvel because they're not going to attack Disney. And I don't know, and I know they're smart enough to know that, but they're also smart enough to not call Disney out because they also want their films financed. So they're calling out Marvel, which I think is smart. I will agree, Marvel, #Disney, has done a lot to change the way films are at the Academy. They have done a lot where it comes to scheduling and pushing out maybe some smaller movies. I understand that and I agree with that argument. I will strongly disagree with two of the greatest directors we know to say that Marvel is trash or despicable or is not cinema.
So let's look about something that Brandon Gonzalez is saying. Some people are talking about Scorsese's jealous. I don't really think Scorsese's jealous.
Go ahead. I will disagree, but go ahead.
I don't think he's jealous. I mean, maybe in terms of all the recognition, but Scorsese has so many incredible movies that have been out, and he's known forever. I don't think his legacy is cemented. Somebody brought up the fact that it might have been Ray Sean, that he's mad that his movie's coming out on Netflix. Netflix paid a lot of money to make that happen. It's not that he couldn't get the movie made for a theater Netflix came with a lot of cash to him to make that happen.
This is where
also
go ahead. But
the movie is also coming to theaters.
this is where I disagree with you on that. I'm not saying he's jealous. I'm saying he's mad because The Irishman was not going to be released in theaters as much money as it cost, the way he wanted it, without Netflix's help. Because the major studios were looking at, if I spend this amount of money, I want Marvel dollars. You are not going to get Marvel dollars from a movie like The Irishman. I'm not going to say that it's not going to be good. It's not going to make money. I'm going to say, if I'm a studio, if I'm Sony, if I'm Disney, Marvel, Fox, Paramount, Columbia, whoever, if I spend almost $200 million, you better make $1 billion. Because that $200 million is not just for the movie. I got to spend another $200 million on advertising. Right. So I got to spend $500 million to make this movie. And people have told him, no, we're not doing it for that price. So he's mad. And I understand that because Marvel has changed the game. It's a business, and he wants cinema to be art. Marvel and Disney are in the business of making art, but they're in the business of making money. And I think he is mad because Marvel did, in his mind, I no longer get to make the movies I want, given the inordinate amount of budgets that him and people like him were given to make these movies.
Right, but what does it got to do with him being jealous?
I think he is jealous of Marvel.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, I think he is mad and jealous to a certain extent.
Okay.
Because back in the day, if you remember, we used to watch movies based on, that was that director. I watched every Michael Mann film, every Scorsese film, every Coogler. If Coogler does a movie, I'm going to watch it. So I think he is mad because Marvel has changed the way studios are operating, where it used to be an actor and director driven industry.
Right.
It's not that anymore.
Yeah. It's if you put Marvel on it, that's automatically getting you $100 million more or less opening weekend, probably depending on the franchise. This was a good topic in terms of people just going back and forth talking.
So
about
I think you said it was Ray Sean. So let's get some of these people's comments out here. So Johnny Horn says Scorsese's just mad because Marvel made all that money. Again, I don't say it's just because of the way Marvel made all the money. I think it's because, and this is something we talked about with Joker, the way these IPs are made. If you don't have a comic, if it's not something that we've already invested in, where it be a comic, a book, or a remake, it's hard to get that made.
When we talked about, that you guys can see, shameless plug, our Joker review, we talked about the movie didn't really need to be called, or at least I said the movie didn't need to be called Joker. It could just been about a movie about a man dealing with mental health. And I think it would have been just as powerful. Having it being called Joker definitely helped push it in the
Gave
column.
it an extra.
But I don't think it had to be Joker to be that movie. It could have been about dealing with mental health issues overall.
I agree.
Yeah.
Brandon Gonzalez says his movie's getting a theatrical release as well. I agree. Miles Case says he made The Godfather. He can say whatever he wants. I respect Scorsese, but in this way, he is doing. If he had come out and said what we're saying, I got no problem with it. But him and Coppola sound like the old dudes who are like, "Get off my lawn," because superhero movies are just another genre, like westerns, like musicals. They're a genre that allows you to take the same story, the hero's journey, and present it in a different formula.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And it's funny because looking at the people who responded, and again, the people who have been positive so far have pretty much been people who have worked with Marvel Studios.
Yeah.
You haven't seen a lot of people who haven't been with Marvel Studios championing or saying something. They're kind of just laying low, not saying much anything. Both Joss Whedon and the other director, James Gunn, kind of talked about what James Gunn did in Guardians of the Galaxy as showing this can be cinema. And they used that scene of Groot in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, Groot talking with Rocket and Rocket kind of tearing up and then being regrouped. That's a touching moment.
Oh yeah.
That is cinema to me, in my opinion. I think that's a beautiful scene. It's well done. It looks incredible. And all he says is, "We are Groot," 3 words.
Yeah.
And it hits you right in the feels.
Because you understand what he's saying is we're a family.
Right. And that happened based on what you got from a superhero movie leading up to the beginning of that superhero movie leading up to where that was.
And this is where I say I disagree with the gentleman, the esteemed gentleman of our industry, where it comes to entertainment. Coppola and Scorsese dealt with the same thing. When Scorsese made Taxi Driver and Mean Streets, there were directors who were calling him out saying his stuff wasn't cinema. So I don't get why this is happening.
Brandon
Gonzalez?
I like that idea. Hey, put your money where your mouth is.
And honestly,
we'll give you the money. We got unlimited money. So Martin Scorsese, you make what you want to make with our characters.
And this is the thing. And this is where Marvel has an up on everybody else. Because Marvel's saying, look, you can make Jojo Rabbit, but you go make Thor 4. You want to make your Hitler's funny movie? Go ahead. But guess what? You go make this Thor movie too. And Brandon Gonzalez, you bring up a good point. And this is the thing that I had a problem with, James. Was it Cameron or Spielberg? Who was talking trash and then went and signed with Apple? Was it Spielberg? Who was coming after Netflix and then signed with Apple?
Yeah.
I think if he had phrased his complaint correctly, I would understand. But you're not going to tell me Black Panther isn't cinema. And you're not going to tell me that Black Panther, based on, listen to what Scorsese said.
And while you try to find it, hey, I've gone on record, and I feel confident saying it, Black Panther, not a good superhero movie. It is a good movie, not a good superhero movie. Feel free to talk about it in the chat. And let's see where that goes. I stand by that statement.
Right here, when Coppola said, when Martin Scorsese says that Marvel films are not cinema, he's right, because we expect to learn something from cinema. We expect to gain something, some enlightenment, some knowledge, some inspiration. I don't know that anyone gets anything out of seeing the same movie over and over again. And I will give him this. Phase 1.
Phase 1 of Marvel, it was the same boilerplate.
Phase 1, Hulk, Iron Man, Thor, I'll give you some of that. However, Captain America. No, I won't give you that. I won't give you that when it comes to Winter Soldier. I won't give you that when it comes to the Avengers. Because you saw something in those movies that was inspirational. Captain America was about a man who had a hero inside him who was never given the chance to fight when everybody else ran, he ran this way. Captain America is the greatest.
He jumped on that grenade.
He's the greatest first responder. When was it Tommy Lee Jones? When he
grenade?
when not the grenade, but remember when they told him
he
told him get to the top, and he was like, ding, and it just fell over.
Yeah.
That spoke to me, not just because I was a comic fan, but because that little kid who could watch that movie and say, hey, I may not be the biggest, I may not be the toughest, but I'm willing to fight for whatever it is I believe in. I can do this all day. When we saw that Civil War trailer and he said that, everybody who had been following along knew what that meant. It was a throwback to him being the scrawny kid who fought his ass off when everybody else ran. And
Miles Cage, did you have a question for Miles Cage? Anybody else can respond. He said Cap was a boring movie, and I wonder, did you see The Rocketeer? Because I thought The Rocketeer was a very good movie, but it's very similar in tone, and I'm pretty sure it's directed by the same person. I'm just curious about that.
So, and that's why I say Captain America's different. I will say you can say Iron Man is formulaic. It kicked everything off.
Well,
you can say it's formulaic, but
I think at the very first time, it's hard to compare it because it was the first one, right? I think everything else was kind of the same. Here's an arrogant jerk guy who's learning to get his own come up.
He's what's the word they call him?
Wasp?
No, a weaponeer. He's an arms dealer. He is an arms dealer.
What's the Lord of War?
Lord of War.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Francis Ford Coppola's nephew. Suck on that, Coppola. Friend of the show.
Yes. One day I want us to become big enough where all that comes back and be like, you remember when you said this? Yeah, but you're on the show now. Don't worry about
Remember when you called out Holly Berry and you went for her?
Don't worry about that.
And I want them to play it with Holly Berry sitting next to me so we can have that awkward moment like between two ferns.
Yeah.
And I can be like, I still think Babs is trash.
Okay, so
But yeah,
it's almost though that the phase 1 of Marvel was kind of its growing pains, right?
It was.
Because we had still had the movies before before Kevin Feige took over. You had all those other movies. They kind of had to figure out as a studio what it took to make a good movie that was different. And that's when you got the crazy and the weirder stuff in the phase 2s and phase 3s. And your Doctor Strange, you're getting that horror element. You're getting a Captain Marvel movie, a movie about female empowerment. You're getting an future Afrovision movie, Black Panther. So I mean, you're starting to spread out and getting more different things. And I think we're only going to get more of that as phase 4 and whatever comes on.
But also in that, you had to remember the Marvel movies were under who? Cabal, under Ike Perlmutter, who sabotaged certain movies. He sabotaged Iron Man 2, or Iron Man 2 and 3. He fought for Captain Marvel and Black Panther to never be made because he said they would never make money. And so you had a lot of scared money. You know, ever heard that phrase, scared money don't make no money? So he refused to let them try different things. So Scorsese, if they're talking about phase 1, I can understand. And them being upset because these blockbusters are pushing out other movies. However, you cannot say that about these later movies. You can't say that after phase 2. Winter Soldier is not just a good superhero movie. It is a great movie.
Yeah.
When it talks about overreach of government, and if you can't trust your government, and when Captain America tells the leader of the spy agency, it all must go, because the government should not be spying and targeting, assassinating its own citizens.
Right.
That in and of itself is a great idea, which to me delivered where other movies that aren't superhero movies did not do. We did not get that in Gemini Man. Those ideas, I'm sorry, I disagree. Go to some of the comments. We got too much CGI in Marvel, no realness. Miles Cage.
I can agree with the CG comment because some of the CG can take you out of it.
Oh, yeah.
For example, the last third of Black Panther, the fights, I didn't feel the fights because the CG looked bad.
You have been on record saying that a number of times, yeah. I think the DC movies are really, the Snyderverse sorely.
Yeah, that Doomsday, whatever that.
Not just that, Suicide Squad, Doomsday, Justice League, The Beam in the Sky, whatever people call it.
Yeah.
That all of these movies suffer from the CGI.
Yeah.
So it's not just Marvel. A lot of them do that.
Yeah.
I will say this: gangster movies. Brandon Gonzalez, I love gangster movies. I think they're a genre. And that's why I disagree with because you can have a gangster movie that is Heat, and you can have a gangster movie that's Miller's Crossing.
And you can have a gangster movie that's Harlem Nights. Man. Y'all, everybody,
put your mom on the phone.
I ain't never coming back. Let's just go to your respective houses or wherever you are and just go watch Harlem Nights.
You shot my pinky toe, son. Son, like, that's all within the same genre. You can have Hoodlum with Lawrence Fishburne, and you can have Thief with Michael. His son is on Hawaii Five-0. Oh man, I can't remember. Is that more of a heist movie?
Khan?
Yes, Michael C. Khan.
James Khan.
James.
Because his son is
Michael.
Khan.
Which one is Michael?
I don't know who Michael is. Michael C. Hall.
Oh, got my.
But that's not Hawaii Five-0.
Sorry, I got my white people confused.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I don't either.
Okay, great.
James Caan, yeah, him.
Okay.
But you have so many, and that's why I said Scorsese. I respect you, but I disagree. I respectfully disagree.
Yeah.
That these superhero movies are not cinema. I'm sorry, I cannot agree with you.
And I'm excited for The Irishman, honestly.
That's what
Irishman looks cool. I'm ready to see Irishman. It has some CG of its own with all the de-aging, and it looks really good.
How are you mad when you literally are using the same stuff?
I mean, I don't know. I'm ready to see Irishman just to see what it's
That's
about.
why I say it's a little bit of hate. It's a little bit of jealousy. It's a little bit of that because the movies that they want to get made are getting pushed away. And notice this. He didn't say that about horror movies. He didn't come after... and this is the thing. Superhero movies aren't new. It's just that that Marvel is taking up so much of the market share and determining so much of this business.
You talked about scheduling issues, and I don't know exactly who said it, but you can go out and find it. I didn't do the research. You do the research. When the Russo brothers were shooting Avengers 3 and 4, they kind of stopped what everybody else in Hollywood was doing because all the actors were consumed for 3 or 4 years, or however long it take to do those two movies together. And there were reports of other movies that had to be put on hold and delayed while people went back for reshoots and stuff. So it's I can see how the Marvel movies affect the rest of Hollywood.
And there are movies that don't get made because this actor was tied to it, and it's like, well, we can't do this movie now. And
what was going on with that movie with Chris Pratt and Priyanka Chopra about like cowboys and something? You know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look it up.
But I know what you're talking. I understand what you're talking about, and that's where I disagree. If they're talking about VV, Winter Soldier's the best movie. Personally, I'm up there with you. Winter Soldier's in my top 5. Black Panther was a cultural phenomenon. That's where I say I cannot get on board with this idea that they're not cinema, because those movies, for a whole generation of people who never saw themselves on screen as a superhero, Black Panther meant a lot to them.
You forgetting Meteor Man?
For the generations of people.
You forgetting Steel?
For the generations of people.
You forgetting Blank Man?
For the generations of people.
That's all I got at the moment.
Yeah, so to the young girls who have never seen themselves as a superhero, regardless of how good or bad Captain Marvel is, I think Captain Marvel's a great Phase 1 movie.
Yeah, and I know this isn't Marvel, but I think Wonder Woman was great.
Wonder Woman was great. The first 2/3.
Yeah, good point.
Skybeam? Nope.
Good point.
No, but so for me, I can't agree with that. But if you came at them and said the scheduling, how you dominate the market, how you pull some of the best actors for a green screen role, I can get behind that. But you will never tell me what Robert Downey Jr. did in Avengers Endgame and Infinity War is not cinema. You can't tell me how he felt, what he did with Tom Holland, and Tom Holland ad-libbing that scene.
John G. Blade. Yeah, I forgot about Blade.
Nah, thank you. Classic. But you're not going to tell me how I felt in those two movies ain't cinema. I'm sorry. Because I did not choke up when I watched Goodfellas. I was like, good. He deserved to die, and I hope he burns in hell. But you're not. I didn't get the same emotion when I watched Goodfellas that I did when I watched Endgame. I love Ray Liotta, but man, he got away with a lot of stuff in that movie.
And you know, it also depends on what you grew up on, right? Because you are a professed, obsessed comic book fan. So seeing these stories come to life probably means more to you than seeing a gangster movie that you may not be able to relate to, not having grown up with it.
Depends on the movie, because from no matter what, Heat will always be in my top 10 movies, best movies of all time. And that is, to me, a great gangster movie. It just depends. But I cannot abide by this whole trashing this because it's popular.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're getting. And again, you got to remember, when you're on top, people come for you.
And here's the thing.
It's like having a #1 headband.
And you and this Afro Samurai, sir, no. In the end, it don't matter. Marvel gonna be Marvel. They gonna be fine.
Yeah,
they fine. And Francis Ford Coppola's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese's gonna be fine. We're all gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea that this brings up discussions for people to talk about in a civil manner, which is nice.
And I love this conversation. I love it because we're talking about, and this is the thing. I don't care if you like something. Just don't knock it somebody else's love of something. Miles Cage Jr. says he didn't choke up with RGJ. I can respect that. Those movies may not be for him. Some people don't watch Star Wars. I can understand that. Some people
burn them. Burn them all
at the stake.
At the stake.
Miles K. Jr. says Heat is a heist movie. I don't know. But to me, it's one of the best movies of all time. But each genre has its fans. And I hate when we get this, let's bash it because it's popular, because I don't like it. Now, granted, is it taking money out of Scorsese's pocket? Probably. But guess what, Scorsese? You got a lot of pockets. And
That's how
ain't nobody stopping right now. The Irishman's coming out, and guess what? We will all watch it. So calm down. Ain't no I cannot wait to see The Irishman. I cannot wait. I absolutely loved Leo DiCaprio and
Departed?
yes. But watch this. That's a remake, dude. So you want to talk about it's not original? Why are you remaking movies, man? Why don't you do your own thing?
Yeah, Scorsese. Find this little YouTube channel and respond to these comments. We will await
We're
your
coming
answer.
for you, Scorsese.
We will await your answer.
Why'd you play a fish with Will Smith in the animated movie
Shark Tale? I forgot about Shark Tale till you brought that up.
Now we're just throwing shots. I
forgot about Shark Tale.
That's why I said I cannot agree. But I'll say this. It's not going to stop me from watching a Marvel movie, and it's not going to stop me from watching a Scorsese movie. However, Francis Ford Coppola, I want my money back from Isle of Dr. Moreau. That was weird.
You didn't say bad, you just said weird.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was just, I didn't
Well,
get it.
that's an experience.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so next topic. Y'all continue to keep having these nice civil discussions in the chat. Don't be too mean to everybody.
Yeah,
but, everybody's been cool.
Johnny Horn, David Cooper. What's up, David? Money out his pockets. What studio is going to give him 165 movies? Hey, he better be, again, I agree with you. He better be glad with his Netflix money and enjoy them spins. Johnny Horn, the shootout scene in Heat is one of the best action scenes ever. Agreed. I can't add anything to those. But we want to move into a little bit more of, I asked this because, well, we talked about The Watchmen, which just came out. We have Dark Materials coming out.
His Dark Materials.
His Dark Materials. Game of Thrones just wrapped up. We had the Bloodshot trailer that came out this week. Are we living in the golden age of adaptations? Is this as good as it's going to get?
Gagne one. Thank you for the for the donation.
Thank
Appreciate
you for
it.
the donation.
Black Panther 2 hit in about 1.5 way to.
Oh yeah, yeah. Black Panther 2 comes out. Oh yeah, we gonna be all up and
Shit. Feeling it.
Man, I should have brought my helmet for this. I didn't know. I forgot we were gonna talk about this. I got a Black Panther helmet.
Wonderful. Talk about what we're talking about next. The
golden age of adaptations.
Adaptations.
What do you think? Because you didn't read Watchmen, but you enjoyed the first episode.
I did. I really enjoyed the first episode.
You didn't read Game of Thrones, but you enjoyed the series.
Yeah.
And you didn't read Bloodshot, but you enjoyed the trailer.
Yeah.
So to you are these?
I hate you because I know you did this on purpose, but you make it seem like I'm illiterate.
No.
I know you're not, but you didn't read this, but you like this video. No, and you didn't read this.
I did it because it reminds me of what Lauren said, that she didn't read the books and still had an affinity for them. She still enjoyed everything about them. Yeah. Even though she didn't grow up reading these things, but it made her seek out more of it. Mm-hmm. So you didn't read this stuff growing up, but you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Side note, I did read The Magicians, and I like read The Magicians, and I like the sci-fi show.
You got other people to watch The Magicians. And you read the book, and your fan of The Magicians got other people in the newsroom to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we are in a golden age of adaptations, but I don't know.
Is that a good thing?
I think it's yeah.
I'm not sure that's not
personally. I don't see it being a bad thing because there are some instances where I'll look at something and be like, oh, it does make me want to go and read the original source material, all that kind of stuff. We talked about it again. Another shameless plug for our Watchmen review. We talked about it for the spoilers. The episode starts with Oklahoma riots.
Tulsa.
Sorry. Well,
Tulsa
is Oklahoma.
True, but it's
not Tulsa. Right. Yeah. The Tulsa riots, Tulsa massacre. That definitely made me want to go back and read more about the subject because you really don't learn about it in school.
No.
But it was a great way. It shocked you. It wasn't salacious. It wasn't, It
wasn't gratuitous.
It wasn't gratuitous. It was done for a purpose, and it was done well. It was executed well. I don't see anything wrong with adapting material to a movie or a television audience. Sometimes it can be hard We know.
Speaking of hard, Murat says for comics, yes. Others, anime, video games, not so much. On point, sir. Or ma'am. On point.
Yeah, but I will say, yes, but some video games are good adaptations. The most recent Batman games. Those are great adaptations.
Sorry. I thought you meant like movies that have been adapted. Okay. Yeah,
Wait, then maybe I might not be understanding the comment.
I was thinking adaptations from video games that have turned into movies. That's what I took it as.
Oh, okay.
But,
okay. Marats, explain that. Are you talking, for your comment, the comments, are you saying adaptations based on the original comics? Or are you, like,
in other
just
words,
kind of explain that?
Yeah, explain, yeah. I will say this. I agree with you that when you talk about the Watchmen, we talked about the Tulsa massacre, and again, we talked about in our review of the first episode. Historians came out of the woodwork explaining what happened and what was behind these overthrows of government, these massacres, and it shows you how important education is, but it also shows you how important the power and the medium of television and movies are, because it can educate you to something that you might not be experienced to. As a person who may never have known about the Tulsa riots or Tulsa massacre, you will now go look that up, and that will introduce you to a topic you might, and a dinner table topic.
E. Starkey says, I have never read a book about Star Wars, but I've watched it from the beginning.
Yep.
That's cool, but I would say, hey, there's a lot of good Star Wars material to read.
But I mean, but he's right.
Yeah.
E. Starkey, I want to say he's right because it could be E. Starkey is right, because there are people who never read any Star Trek any of the expanded universe Star Trek novels, and there are a lot of them, but they have enjoyed Discovery or Deep Space Nine,
and they're really looking forward to Picard.
Yep, and so. That's where I say we're living in the golden age of adaptation. Ray Sean is correct. I don't even want to say Detective Pikachu was just okay. I enjoyed it. I have never liked Pokemon at all. It came out in that year where it was beyond me. You know, when you age out of stuff. I never liked it. But I'll tell you what, when Ryan Reynolds did that Pika Pika, I was in, and they animated him correctly. Sonic, Gagne, whoo!
I hope. Hey, you know what though about Sonic? Couple things that I feel confident saying. The games are trash. Or it's not that they're trash. They don't control as well as people think they do.
Gosh.
Sonic has a floaty jump that is disgusting.
Oh man.
It is despicable. Isn't it what did Francis Ford Coppola say? It's despicable. Sonic's jump is despicable.
You Nintendo purist.
I'm just saying, his jump is horrible. But once we see this new trailer and this new redesigned Sonic, maybe we'll be involved.
And that's what Gagne is saying. I saw some recent clips. Looks like they're going to get the Sonic right in time for the movie. Miles Cage Jr. says, I'm scared to watch Picard. Tell us why.
Okay. Yeah.
Moratz came back and said, from comics to live action movie. And he's right. From live action, video games and anime have not done well when they have ported these things over.
I am excited. I'm cautiously optimistic about the Cowboy Bebop that Netflix is doing. Did you see the news that it got delayed though because John Shaw got injured? Like, oh, that sucks.
I kind of feel like that's going to make it better, because I feel like this. If you and this is maybe my own naive, and I'm personally biased because they finally cast Ayn as a corgi. If somebody's getting hurt on set, you don't get hurt on something you don't love or you don't care about. Like in other words, if you get hurt for doing something you actually enjoy, you don't get hurt doing something you don't want to do, because you're like, I'm out before you get hurt. Like if this is dangerous. So I feel like I cannot wait for that. We're gonna get a Witcher. We're getting, like you said. I personally have not liked any of the Ghost in the Shell new ones. I like the old one.
Where's that at?
I don't know.
Where's your Ghost in the Shell movies at?
It's in your possession, sir. I hope it is.
I don't know. The world may never know.
But yeah, I think I'm of the mind, and keep in mind, this is just the recent stuff. We got the Hunger Games. Some people may not Twilight.
All the YA stuff, essentially.
Yeah.
Every YA book is probably some movie eventually.
Oh, it is. The Maze Runner, The Descendants or whatever that thing was with Haley Steinfeld. No, not Haley Steinfeld. What's the other one? The It girl. She was in Big Little Lies.
Oh, Shailene Woodley.
Yes, thank you. So we've gotten all of these things, and I'm grateful for it. My wife was a teacher, and she used to teach the Hunger Games, and the first book was one of the things that for getting kids to read, when they saw it on the big screen, it fueled them to go pick up those books. So I'm all for, you're not going to talk about Henry Cavill. Not gonna talk about my boy Henry Cavill.
Hey,
I have been a staunch believer that Henry Cavill has not been given the right vehicle.
the best thing Henry Cavill ever did was be the little boy in Count of Monte Cristo when he was 14. Sorry.
I'm out.
I'm sorry.
I'm out. Sir, you are not gonna talk about Henry Cavill. We are not gonna have this discussion today. Henry Cavill was great in the last Mission Impossible. He was also great.
The best thing he did was pump them arms. That was cool.
Hey man,
That was cool.
what about the man
His
from
mustache.
Uncle? You liked it. Don't hate.
I did like it. Henry Cavill wasn't the reason. Every time I see Henry Cavill, he's always wooden. And I don't know what it is.
That's because he is so great. He has to contain his acting ability that he is not able to portray it well enough because we as mere mortals will not be able to contain his magnificentness.
Okay. I'm not going to argue. I don't even know where to begin. We are running out of time, though. We got to move because we promised him we talk about game delays.
You go first because I want to hear what your take is because I have probably a different take than everybody.
So we're talking about game delays now based on...
Did y'all see that? I just realized I didn't take the tag off the shirt I just bought.
Last of Us Part 2 was delayed. And the reason why it's so weird is that they just had this big announcement. It kind of reminded me of Dark Phoenix. When that trailer came out for the movie. And then the next day, it's like, don't worry about the date that was in that trailer because that's wrong. That was so weird.
That was...
It wasn't exactly the same thing here, but maybe a couple weeks ago, they had this big announcement. It was going to come out in February.
To your point, I'll read to our fans from Neil Druckmann. Let me cut to the chase and get the news out of the way. The Last of Us Part 2 has a new release date of May 29th, 2020. Here's what you were talking about. I know it was just a month ago when we had our big blowout for the game, letting media play over 2 hours of it, along with debuting a new story trailer and revealing the release date. The positive response we saw from our community was overwhelming. You can feel the energy among the team members. After working on something for so many years, it's invigorating to see a glimpse of validation for all the hard work. However, during the last few weeks, as we were closing out sections of the game, that we realized we simply didn't have enough time to bring the entire game up to a level of polish we could call Naughty Dog quality. At this point, we were faced with two options: compromise parts of the game or get more time. We went with the latter, and this new release date allows us to finish everything to our level of satisfaction while also reducing the stress on the team. That's literally what you have been talking about since we've done this channel. Games coming out that are not finished, not polished, and crunch. Driving your workers insane with trying to meet an unrealistic date.
A game that is seeing a huge amount of popularity right now, Mortal Kombat 11, came out in April. They had a release schedule before. They had for like previous like Mortal Kombat X and Injustice 1 and 2 and probably Mortal Kombat 9. They would release the game and then maybe they had like a year or so of DLC, maybe 2 different character passes for DLC, and they were pumping out a lot of characters. Within the last year and a half, they've been accused. Our contract workers have accused them of saying, "Yo, it's a toxic work environment in terms of they're making us work all these hours to get this stuff out."
And you don't care about us.
Yeah.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, the contract workers don't have benefits.
Yeah, it depends. It's person to person, but usually a contract work, you're not getting those full-time benefits. NetherRealm Studios they've kind of commented on it. They haven't really said, we're sorry, we're apologizing. But if you notice the release schedule for Mortal Kombat 11's characters, they have 6 characters, and it's probably taken them 7 or 8 months for all the characters to come out. The most recent DLC character that came out was the T-800. Which plays incredibly, looks just like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Is that the one that we talked about?
Yes.
Okay.
Doesn't sound like Arnold, but it's okay.
Okay.
It's fine, but he plays well. So you can see there are studios that are really trying to get buckled down on this crunch thing and not burn their people out.
Do you think it's a backlash or do you think it's a righting of the ship after what happened with BioWare, after what happened with Rockstar? We talked about that because of what happened at Red Dead Redemption 2. Do you think that's part of the reason why, or do you think it's corporations are realizing we cannot work these people to death because we live in a new age where popular opinion is something that can hurt a game?
I would definitely say social media, as much as we, the negatives of social media, everybody's always in your business. It can help to shine a light on something and give somebody a voice that, a small person who may not be able to get their message out there, they can go to social media and get a following and, talk about get this groundswell of support for these issues.
Well, because for me, I will say this. I was ignorant to crunch. Like, I'd heard about it, but it wasn't until me and you started talking about it more in depth that I went back and looked, and I was like, oh, snap.
Oh, yeah, it's been a problem for decades.
Like, this is a huge issue that I, a consumer who loved video games, never thought about the crunch that goes into these games, getting it out on these dates, the toll it is taken on these workers.
Yeah. But, yeah, Naughty Dog... And again, we love video games, but we're not in the business, so we can only speak, second and third hand, speculate. Naughty Dog, for the most part, has usually been a very...
conscientious company?
Yeah. Like, the biggest controversy from them, in my opinion, was that they got rid of Amy Hennig, who was the lead creative director for, like, the first Uncharted games, 1, 2, and 3.
Now, when you say get rid of, did she get fired or did she quit?
It's kind of the thing of... It's time for maybe you should find something else to do. That type of thing. That's what
a mutual.
That's what the speculation is.
And you don't want. Okay.
She went to EA to head up a Star Wars game
that never got made,
which sounded awesome. But Amy Hennig, keep telling them cool stories.
Man, why you had to hit me like that? Still
Neil Druckmann, and I can't remember the other person. Neil Druckmann and another person kind of took over with Uncharted 4 and Last of Us, and they were kind of changing how the games were made and the overall story direction, and I've loved them. So if they need more time to make it better, I think that's fine. I am totally okay with that. I would always rather a game be delayed and it be finished than it come out in buggy, i.e. WWE 2K20. Have you seen the memes going around about 2K20? Just, when you get a second, just like type in 2K20 glitches.
Okay.
That game looks so bad.
Now, everybody in here has been on your side saying, Ray Sean K, there's nothing wrong with delaying the game and getting it right. I want to say somebody just agreed with you. Naughty Dog needs... somebody needs to pay Ellen Page. Definitely agree with you on that.
You're not wrong about that.
Ellen Page, could you get some money? Brandon Gonzalez says people can be patient. And Brandon Gonzalez also says, in my opinion, video game companies should take as much time as they need to include everything in their game that they want. No more DLC, no more microtransactions, just a pure, full-fledged game.
For a time, there was a time when that was true, and I agree with it. But now I sound like I'm shilling here. I can understand where DLC comes from, only from the standpoint of these games cost so much money to make now, in terms of like hundreds of millions of dollars, but they haven't raised the price of a game in so long, in generations. It's been $60.
I will say I enjoy DLC if it's something like The Division, where I can play the game, enjoy the game, and if I'm done with the main story, that's great. I can come back, DLC can fill in certain parts, but as far as the game, it can be over. I don't mind it. What I don't like is if I buy a game and it's broken coming out the gate. But what I will say is if your game is good, you don't need DLC. God of War.
Yeah.
You don't need to keep updating your game if your game is good.
Take this live on air.
Go ahead. Because I'm finishing up God of War now. Holy cow, that game is amazing. I cannot... When I first loaded Game of War, when I started playing it after we did, because we did a run through a game, God of War, it has not updated since since I've downloaded, since I've installed the game. I personally don't mind delays. The Last of Us 2, take another year if you need it, because that game is one of the best games I have ever played. It is
the first one.
The first one. I have literally paused that game and said, this is too much. That game is amazing. So I'm of the mindset that, you know what? I'll wait till 2020. I'll wait till Christmas 2020. You get it right. Cyberpunk 2077. Take your time. Shut up.
You still never shaved.
Shut up, man. Stop bringing that up.
That's you did to yourself. Woo. Oh, y'all want to have a good time? Go back and watch our E3 2019 reactions where Leroy made a bet with himself about Cyberpunk that nobody asked him to do.
You pushed me up to it. I feel like you bullied me into it.
Myself nor Shauna asked you to do anything, but you were like, "Let's go do this." But anyway,
I feel hurt.
I think what we're going to see now is a bunch of these games that got delayed, which we'll talk about more, but that got delayed. They're probably going to be cross-generational, right? Where you're going to see them on Xbox One and PS4/PS5
and Scarlet.
Codename Scarlet.
Okay. So what else besides Last of Us 2 that has gotten delayed?
So again, thank you to IGN for doing all the research for us. So in addition to
IGN hires.
in addition to Last
Make
of
your
Us,
content better.
we could try. In addition to Last of Us Part 2, here are some other big games that got pushed back. Metroid Prime 4 for Nintendo Switch. At one point, maybe a year and a half ago, during Nintendo Direct, Nintendo talked about Metroid Prime 4 was coming out, and all they showed was a logo.
Yeah, it was a screen.
Now, to be fair, everybody knew they don't have anything if all they're showing is this, and we never saw any video, so no one's been too hurt about it because there was never a firm release date. We just know at one point, Nintendo executive said, "Hey, we're starting over because the direction we were going isn't what we wanted."
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so that got pushed back.
Because I would rather have that than lie to me like you did with Killzone.
Okay, a couple of Ubisoft games got pushed back. Watch Dogs Legion, which looks, and to me this makes sense because what they were talking about was
anybody
can be a playable character. Any NPC can be a PC, which is crazy. Mm-hmm. That got pushed back. It was supposed to be between March 6, 2020. Mm-hmm. Now it's been pushed back to like April 1st, 2020 to March 31st, 2021.
Ooh.
So the whole fiscal year got pushed back. Watch Dogs Legion got pushed back. Gods and Monsters got pushed back. That was a game that kind of looked like a Zelda clone, and that's a very reductive way to say it.
Yeah, because that was one of the games we saw with the Apple announcement.
Yeah. Also Skull and Bones. The game that started as like the spinoff from Black Flag, the pirate part, where they made their own pirate game, that got delayed to whenever. So 3 big Ubisoft games got delayed, and you brought these two out here, Division 1 and Division 2. Yves Guillemot, or Guillemot, I don't know how you pronounce his name. He's a French man. He seems very nice.
That's Brandon Gonzalez, yeah.
Okay.
We'll get to that in a second, Brandon. We'll get to that point.
During the investor call for Ubisoft, he said these games are being pushed back basically to work on quality assurance because
got no problem with
that. Ghost Recon, what's the most recent one? Breakpoint. And Ubisoft Division 2 have underperformed in their minds. Some of the things he listed, I see you rubbing your head or whatever.
Yeah.
Some of the things he listed as why they didn't work is some of the experiences were repetitive. And people weren't invested in the overall story for some of those games. So they're trying to go back and be like, hey, we don't need these games that we've spent, again, hundreds of millions of dollars on multi-100-person teams, probably even 1,000-person teams for the side
quest to seem over and over again.
Right.
Repetitive. You're just moving stuff. A la Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, which, again, we haven't seen Assassin's Creed for a while because they were trying to annualize like Call of Duty, which comes out tomorrow. I know you're excited.
I know I gotta come to work, but man,
yeah,
I throw a monkey wrench in everything if I ain't come to work tomorrow.
Can you not say that on this live podcast?
I know. I'm saying
live stream?
What I'm saying is like if I was like I could just like you ever watch a TV show?
Yeah.
And like something happens and then they cut to whatever the person who caused it.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting at home in my shorts just playing Call of Duty with a headset on.
Yeah.
And there's like pandemonium. There's stuff on fire.
Yeah.
In another world, maybe.
Also Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Quarantine got delayed.
I had not seen anything about that, so I'm not really too upset about that
one. What were the other big ones?
Shenmue
3 got delayed.
Yeah. And Doom Eternal. That's a big one.
Doom Eternal, yeah, that happened a few weeks ago. They pushed it back.
Because we saw that in
the E3 stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, and it looked cool. That's fine. I'm fine with Bethesda and id kind of taking their time on that to make it great because the first Doom, or the 2016 Doom, was really great in terms of the locomotion and how you felt with the Doom, with was it Doom Marine? What's his name?
The Marine.
The Marine. Whatever. The main
It's
character.
it's always a Colonial Marine.
Yeah. It just felt good to move around in that game, so let him do all that. That's fine. Shenmue 3. I played Shenmue 1, and I remember the big thing about that was like maybe an 80-person or 100-person battle in the game, which was fun at the time. It was on Dreamcast. Shenmue 2 was okay. Shenmue 3 to me has always been kind of rocky because the way it got pitched and finance was kind of iffy in terms of having us, the players, pay for the beginning finances of the game, which is kind of, I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. It's fine.
I'm not one of the people who wants to finance something. I don't have a lot of money to do that. So
Yeah. Let's see.
you make a good game, I'll pay for it. That's how this works.
So
That's
those
how
were the big
commerce
ones they talked about that got delayed. Also, Animal Crossing got delayed.
works. Yeah, nobody cares about that.
You say that as a joke, people.
Oh, I know. Because
okay.
I had Animal Crossing for GameCube and I sold it, and that thing sold in a week.
Yeah, people are mad.
Oh, yeah.
They were mad about Animal Crossing New Horizons.
So I'm of the mindset where if you make a good game, people will pay for it, and people will respect you and will yada yada yada. But I also think, going back to what Brandon Gonzalez said, how do we know that the DLCs were already going to be in the game, but last minute take it out so they can charge extra?
That's always an issue, and that kind of ties into what Gagne 1 said about Capcom was notorious for this. For a lot of their fighting games, people data mined and found that the DLC wasn't extra; it was already on the disc. You're essentially just paying to unlock it, which kind of sucked. That happened with
That's
Marvel.
a dick move. Yeah.
Marvel vs. Capcom 3, like the 4 DLC or the 4 extra characters were already on the disc, and you would just pay to unlock it. I would like to think that Capcom is getting their act together, although Devil May Cry 5 was fun, but there was an option for you to, like, you didn't have to buy it, but there was an
Loot
option.
boxes.
Yeah, but one of the loot boxes was like, maybe, I don't know how much it was, but you could unlock all the special powers and everything right out the gate, which isn't horrible because you don't have to pay for it. It just kind of sucks that it was there. It's fine. I don't know.
This is Brandon Gonzalez brings up a good point, which I did not know, which we will go look this up. Have you heard about the controversy with the ESRB and how they actually don't play the games they rate? That's why the NBA 2K20 has gambling in it and is rated E. I have not heard that, but I know that there is gambling in 2K20, and that's something we're going to go look up because that is interesting. That is something we definitely want
Well, a
to
lot of the
talk
2K games do this, the VC virtual currency or the visual concepts money that are kind of like loot box / gambling in terms of like these ultimate packs that you can get. It kind of started with the EA games with the ultimate franchise mode of the Mads and the FIFAs where you could get these,
you can
these
start
card packs and whatever. And then Visual Concepts and 2K took that over and did it. They found a better way to monetize, at least for the company, to make you pay. You pay this much, you may be able to get this kind of player or this stat or whatever, which, yeah, gambling loot boxes all sucks.
Interesting. I definitely want to get more into that. I want to say,
Starting to wrap up, because we got to go.
Miles Cage, let us know how you feel about The Last of Us, because that honestly is one of my favorite games. I have it on PS4 and PS3. I have a digital copy and a hard copy of that game. Ray Sean says that God of War is the reason why I bought a PS4.
That's a good game.
Case in point, Broken Games, Fallout 76. I will go one better. Fallout Las Vegas.
I'll go 1,000 times better. Every Fallout game is broken.
Yeah, I can't argue with
That's
that.
I mean, they're all broken. And we keep paying Bethesda for these games.
And that's something that that goes into your point. Take your time. Don't burn out your employees, and give us a good game. Because we've already shown you we will pay for stuff that ain't even stuff you can play. We will buy collector's edition, stuff that we can just sit on a shelf, stuff that we can just display to other people so we can lord it over them because we don't have wives who won't let us spend our money the way we want to.
$300 Mortal Kombat Scorpion. I was one of them suckers.
No,
Did it.
Square Enix, Final Fantasy VII.
I don't even like Final Fantasy VII. I got the Super Collector's Edition because I'm dumb.
So yeah, told you he was going to say he was dumb. I told y'all. Ha! I knew it. I'm a genius. So yeah, I'm hungry. So yeah, I'm of the mindset where game delays are not a bad thing, unless you lied to us. AKA Killzone, you lied to us. Where you put out this, remember that? They put out this great trailer. They said it was going to be the Halo killer. It looked realistic, and then it was trash. compared to what they showed us. So, no, I ain't trying to hear that. I want to give a shout out to everybody who joined in. They're doing a reboot, Mortal Kombat 2020. Video Girl, correct. Video Girl, glad you were able to join in. Miles Cage just bought the remastered Ghostbusters game from 2009, correct. Gagne, they have played any game.
You're going to read my comments. Say bye.
Hold on, I'm just rereading the last couple ones. So I want to say thank you to Gagne, Miles Cage Jr., Video Girl 71, Brandon Gonzalez, Ray Sean, Clay Porters, John G, Vivi.
The Chosen One.
The Chosen One, I missed that one. Boundless Book Owl. Boundless Book Owl was on my side and I missed it.
Yep.
IMAX, Johnny Horn. Okay, we need a new computer, man.
Yeah, we do. David Cooper.
Maratz, E. Starkey. Did I miss anybody? Ray Penn.
Ray Sean.
I said Ray Sean, but Ray Penn. Dreadlock, Breck Warren. I want to say thank you to you guys. We appreciate it. Next week we'll try to do this again. We'll try to be on time and try to put this stuff out so you guys can see. Hey man,
we had breaking news.
I wouldn't say it was breaking. It was just it was delayed news.
I mean, yeah, we had.
So we're a little busy. We got football tomorrow. The president's coming. We gonna be busy, man. So there's no way in the world we could have done this on a Friday. So we had to do it today. Just want to say thank you. Go to our community page. Whenever you see us post something, if there's something you want us to talk about, put it in that section. We will definitely bring it up because, like you said, the great conversation that we about whether or not Marvel is cinema came from Rayshawn. So shout out to Rayshawn.
Hey, Dreadlock, thank you. You just gave us $5.
Dreadlock, we want to say thank you, man. Really appreciate it. This channel is basically your channel. Can't do this without you. Because basically, if you guys were here, we just be talking to ourselves and making fun of each other. So, we're out. Peace.
Peace.